All right, this is going to be a great video today because I'm answering a frequently asked question and it's all about packages. Now, as a brand photographer, videographer, and strategist, and working with brands for well over a decade, I have some tried and true packages that seem to work well with where I am, where I'm located, and the people that I serve. And I wanted to share 4 ideas for personal brand photography packages that may help you in your business, or you want to tweak or modify, or you're just curious what other brand photographers are doing out there in the industry. So let's get to it. I even have notes. I even have a handout for you just to get all the information in your hands so you can serve your clients better. All right. The first thing I want to talk about is that brand photography clients, so clients you're working with someone that owns a business, need to be treated completely differently than your portrait clients and your wedding clients. All 3 have completely different needs. So you have to approach, you have to onboard, you have to work with them differently than your other segments if you are still doing weddings, still doing portraits. I myself only do brand photography work, video work, strategy work. It's all about business. So I want to give you my perspective from that lens versus if I'm doing all those other items as well. So I want to just make that clear that a framework for a business and how you're working with a business owner is going to be different from other niche industry for photography. Okay, so first, besides that, there's also, I want to make sure you're clear on who you are serving. So you have service-based businesses, product-based businesses. I also serve a mix. It's a service-based business, but they have a product as a result, whether it's a custom product for a client or they're producing products for customers. So keep that in mind. I also created a video in the past, I'll link it here, which kind of outlines where that may fall, what type of client. And you may love just working with service-based businesses. And so you will have some different approaches, different logistics with just service-based versus product-based versus if you're doing a mix. Now, if you want to be completely diversified, you can touch on all 3. So it's always good for when someone reaches out to you, you can kind of put them in a category, and that will help you understand their needs a little bit more. All right. So for the first tier, tier 1, I also call mine a mini brand session, and I thought it would be helpful to break down a mini brand session. This is a common term that you might hear in the portrait, especially family portrait industry. Have a one day, all different families select their time slot, they come, they have a certain amount of time, certain amount of shots, and they will receive a certain amount of shots. Now, that is great for that family that just gets the images once a year and they move on, and then you see them maybe once a year if you continuously are doing that. Now, for a business owner, I mostly work with product-based or that mix, that service to product-based business. And I can see if I solely wanted to work with service-based businesses, maybe having that type of structure of a mini brand session where owners can just come in, get a fresh new headshot essentially, and move on with their day-to-day tasks and go back to business. But since I work heavily with product-based businesses or businesses that are service to product, my brand sessions are with the owner for an hour, hour and a half. I still use that same framework where it's time, it's the amount of shots, and it's for a specific rate. I still like that framework, but for a mini brand session, With me, I am working with one business owner. I am going on location to their shop, their studio, their workplace, and we are dedicating images for them and their business. And they will have 15 shots included in their package, and it will be a mix. It will be the portraits that they need, process of making or working with what they do and serve, and then that product or service, whether it's a few product shots or if they're a service base, they're working with a client to create a product for them, it could have that process element too. Detail shots. So they're getting a mix of images. This would be hard to do in that other format I talked about with that family portrait session format. Essentially, by doing that, it's essentially a headshot day, which is something that you could totally do. I've done those when I'm collaborating with someone and it's very niche and it's with business owners and it's, for me, it's a marketing job. I'm looking to gain more leads, cultivate more leads, so that might be an avenue for you, but something I don't do all the time because I'm working with all my repeat referrals and trying to get other clients for bigger projects. So I want you to keep that in mind, that a mini brand session does not have to be this one day, you rent a location, everyone comes in, essentially gets a headshot. A mini brand session could be one business. It could be, these are great for a real estate agent, a coach, blogger, therapist. They just need some foundational images for their website. Maybe they want to do just update their website a little bit. And maybe they occasionally post social media and they may need some images along the way. So that's great for that mini brand session. Again, it's going on location, an hour, hour and a half, maybe 1 to 2 outfits. They could switch out accessories. That really, the outfits can really bog down your time and you want to be efficient of your time. So capping them not at 7 different outfits because then you're going to be there forever. 1 to 2 and something quick. It could just be a quick top change or just accessories. 15 images and they're getting a mix. So that is tier 1. Now, if you're loving all this information and you're trying to write down notes, you don't need to. I have a handout in the description below that will break down everything that I'm talking about, tier 1, tier 2, and 3 and 4. And also kind of thinking about who you want to serve, what type of business, and kind of thinking of the logistics that might come with each type of business. So that's in the description below. Go grab that free PDF. Okay, tier 1, check. Tier 2 is what I call my full brand session. Same framework for time, shots, and rate. And this will be a little more expensive because not only the time is increased, the shot number is increased. So this is about 2.5 hours on location, 30 images, maybe 2 to 4 outfits. And this is great for the product-based business, that service to product mix type of business, an artist, a maker, any sort of designer, floral designer, interior designer, clothing designer, any of those people that have an amazing workspace that you need to capture portraits of them and their environment, and you have the process and then maybe a few product shots. Now, the authentic feel and unique images for that business skyrockets because you are in their domain. You are capturing them in their environment. On the flip side, every location, every environment is going to be different. So you have to assess lighting differently. You've never been at this location. So I love that challenge. And sometimes it's not as much of a deal as when you're starting out in photography is terrifying, but it's once you have a few experiences, you can kind of assess and have an amazing photo shoot. Okay, so that is a full brand session. I want to make note here that, and if you've caught on, I don't do half day, full day. That is a practice that many photographers take, and I'm just kind of reframing it. I don't need a half day or a full day to capture the images that we need, to capture 15 shots in a mini session, to capture the 30 shots they need in the full brand session. I do not need those many hours. You can capture a lot of images in 1 hour if you have a plan and you have it outlined and discussed before the photo shoot ever happens. Every package, every brand client that I work with, we go through a strategy meeting process. So I have my discovery call. I ask all my questions that I need. I do not use a questionnaire. I know that's going to be controversial. I do not use a questionnaire. I gather all my information that I need at that discovery call. We book, and then we set up the strategy meeting. During the strategy meeting, I have already started my concept boards, the vision of the shoot, based on what we've already talked about. And now we get to collaborate. We get to discuss their shoot day, and they get so excited to see where we're taking their images, props that they might need, things that they might need to source, they might need to have on hand, projects they might want to have like 50% done, or things that we can work on. So it really gets the ball rolling with that strategy meeting. I have a list of images that we're going to shoot based off all our conversation, their needs, maybe future promotions, maybe things that are on the horizon. And then for photo shoot day, we know exactly what we're going to capture. We know what outfit that might fall into, which shot, or which set of shots, and we can really have a good flow. And honestly, a brand shoot, you are using so much of your creative energy. They're using so much of their collaborative energy too, that full day, I feel like, is way too long. The only time that I may stretch to 3-4 hours is if we are going to multiple locations. And that doesn't happen all the time, but that's kind of one caveat when I know we have to go from one location, then pack up, and then travel to a second location. Then that might be the case. So I want to have that earmarked, because I don't do that traditional model of a half day or full day. People don't just shoot to shoot, because you just want to be focused, get the images that they need, and move on to the next. It does not have to take a ton of time. Okay, so that's tier 2. So this is great. A lot of clients come my way when they're rebranding their whole website. So that's going to be, they need more images than that, like 15. So 30 is like a sweet spot that can kind of give them exactly what they need for their website, plus some additional for like social media. Although what they use for their website, they can also use for social media. And I'm not sending them 30 shots. I am sending them a gallery of images. Maybe there's 100 shots in the gallery, and they get to choose the 30 images that they want. Here's a side note, another controversial topic possibly, but when I send the gallery is ready to use. Download, start using the images. I edit everything. I'm very fast at editing. I shoot in camera, meaning when I compose the shot, that's the ending shot. So my editing time can be really fast when you shoot that way, because if the lighting's dialed in, I just may have to adjust maybe a shadow, a highlight. It's very quick. And so when I send the gallery, the images are ready to go. I'm now close that client, and now moving on to the other client. So then not 2 weeks later, they're not saying, oh, okay, these are the 10 images, these are 15 images, I want this edited. That's bogging you down in your business process. So when I send them, they're ready to go. Granted, if someone needs more editing, let's say on a portrait, certainly I can do that. Most of the time, we're good to go with my edit, and then we're moving on and they're using it and everyone is on their way. So with a branding image, with that full branding session, they're getting that gallery, they're choosing their 30 images. Maybe the website designer is off getting their project done. Maybe they're posting to social media, but they're ready to go. Here's another great idea for you to consider. So they have this gallery. All the images are there, ready to go. They choose their 30 as part of their package. But maybe 2 months later, they're like, oh, I really need an image to show X. And they never really downloaded an image because it wasn't on their radar then. But we captured it during the photo shoot. They can now go into that gallery and pay for a download, use the image, and they're ready to go. So that gallery is continuously being used and you're getting paid per image download. So a different angle you might be never really considered or new thought. So think about that too. I'm giving you all the secrets here. Okay, so let's go on to tier 3. Tier 3 is, I call like my content creator package, and this is essentially taking tier 2 but doing it 4 times a year. It could be on a quarterly basis. If someone needs, they can adjust the timing and schedule. It's just clearer when you say it's on a quarterly basis. Now, you're having that tier 2 photo shoot every quarter. The difference is that, of course, you're going on location, maybe 2.5 hours, 2 to 4 outfits, if that's needed. But they're getting all the select images. So this is a much higher price versus just like a second tier. It's a much higher price because let's say I shoot, 700 images and they get 110 images in their gallery. They're getting the 110 images that they can use. So a little different tweak on that framework, but it increases the rate of that package as well. Another thing to consider. Okay. Great for obviously rebranding, but this is really for those clients and businesses that use social media a lot and need content, need continuously fresh content to put out there. This is ideal for that type of client. All right. Now we're going to go into the final tier, which is the photo and video package. Now, they can choose between tier 1 and tier 2, but then you're adding a little piece of video. Now, when you're first starting off for this type of package, maybe you're just offering video clips 3 to 5 seconds long. And how they can use these, which is how you can pitch and sell these, is that they could use these in a video banner, which I've done. And then you can offer to reformat into IG or Instagram or social media clips. And then they can use it to use, supplement, have video, photo together, and they can create reels on their own. Maybe you can even add on creating a reel. So you could have 30 minutes dedicated to just these 3 to 5 second clips. You will already outline the exact clips that you want to capture before filming day. You could add this at the end. You could, if it's something like they're setting up to make something, you could be capturing the video while they're doing that and then kind of remock it again to get the photos. You really have to be flexible and see where the video is going to end up. I suggest when you're first starting out, maybe just add it to the end. And then it's much easier to kind of control. You know exactly when it's going to land. I would say add 30 minutes for those simple clips. You can have them as a website banner, reformat just the clips for social media, You could also then add on a service to create a reel from that whole experience, the photos and the video. So obviously much higher, thousands of dollars for that product or for that package. And I'm not giving you specific numbers because honestly, every location and where you are and the people you serve will really formulate the pricing. Obviously, tier 4 is, let's say, thousands of dollars, whereas the mini session would be a little over, let's say, $500 to kind of give you a range. And so that's kind of the video photo package that I would land in kind of that tier 4. Now, again, I have a free PDF down below that kind of breaks down the 4 tiers that we just discussed. Also talking about the different industries, service-based, product-based in the mix. If you love this video, and I hope you do, I'm going to link to the video, and I mentioned in the beginning how I don't use a brand questionnaire, and I know a lot of people do that, maybe coming from the wedding industry side again, but I ask the questions that I need in my discovery call, and I create a video kind of breaking down that process. So I'll link it here, and I'll see you in the video.